you tell us the story behind the getting the black jersey? How you learned about it? Was that
dark gray, but yeah, it was just one day I just came up to coach and was like, "Hey, what jersey you want me to wear?" Because it was kind of just up to me each day on which I felt like, and I just kind of I'm a person of structure and I like routines. I kind of just brought up should I wear a different color? And that way no one's confused on either side. Defensive guys seeing their color on offense, this, that, whatever. But it was brought it up, didn't think much of it, and we came with gray, and here we are.
Why gray?
Neutral.
You guys came up together? You guys landed on that color together?
Yeah, I think it was mutual. Yeah, I was okay with it. He was okay with it. I brought up yellow and red, but yellow's don't touch so came up with gray.
Did any of your teammates have a reaction, or did they like it?
I've got a lot of positive feedback on it. I think a lot of the guys like it a lot. It's a good look. I think, maybe you never know. Maybe that's an alternate jersey in the future that people have been liking a lot.
The fashion design after your football career?
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Just what are you sort of anticipating from your role this year? Obviously, been working on both sides of the ball. Last year, ended up playing probably more on offense than defense. Just what are you sort of envisioning this year for yourself, do you think?
Yeah, I see a fairly similar, role. Obviously offense is kind of the priority. I mean, I'm, listed as a starter and all that, and that's kind of where the priority lies. But I'm still working at both each day and trying to master both sides, and be dependable on both sides. So regardless of what it is, I mean, I'm going to do my best at both and, be ready for all. But obviously, the priority kind of lies on the offensive side. But I'm going to be ready for D and, make sure that the standard doesn't drop off, and I can give them what they want.
How much more comfortable are you on offense now versus this time last year when you were kind of working with Andy on the side, kind of throwing the fire?
Yeah, 100%. It was definitely a lot at once, and I think we managed it pretty well. Obviously, having a full off season, OTAs, summer training camp was very beneficial, and we hit the ground running, so to speak. So I'm really excited for this year. I'm just continuing to grow. We took what we did last year and accomplished last year, and we're building off that, and we're fine tuning other things, and I'm trying to expand my role and do even more. So I think it's been good to have a year under my belt.
What kind of your offseason look like? What was the balance between kind of, I guess, trying to go more into offense, but also trying to work on the defensive side of the ball? Where was the balance that you found there?
Yeah, off-season, I mean, you're speaking OTAs kind of specifically?
Like off-season work, whether it be just training and stuff like that. Did you kind of focus on one side more than the other? Or was it
no, we kind of came up with a plan as far as off-season. We kind of just rotated days. One day it was offense, one day it was defense, and we just kind of flip-flop back and forth. That way it was kind of even, I guess. But in the off-season, it's more about getting your body ready for the long haul and making sure you're physically prepared. And mentally, that's a strength of mine, knowing the playbook on both sides. So obviously you got to fine-tune and reinstall everything. But that was the biggest thing on my plate last year was obviously the mental part of it.
Did you go back this offseason and watch film to really kind of dive in on offense, how you could get better?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of self-scout. Watching, got a whole cut-up of every one of my plays and, just trying to see where I can grow, see where I can improve. So, if you're not improving in this league, you're not going to go very far. So, always constant state of improvement every day.
Are there guys that you're watching to model your game after at all? I mean, there's not that many fullbacks that have played that are your size, but Ricard's an example, obviously coming from Red Yeah.
You know, obviously Ricard did him. Funny thing about Pat, we and I have the same agent, and you know, so I've been able to talk to him a lot. Obviously, very early on, you know, his opinion and his story, and you know, but you know, I try and take examples and learn from everybody in the league. You know, regardless of who's the fullback or not. Obviously, it's body types. Me and Pat are very similar, so that's an easy reference and someone who's done it at a very high level for sure. But you know, it doesn't matter who it is. I try and see if I can get better with this technique or that technique, or maybe how someone sees it. You know, even our room. You know, we have a good room of vets. You know, with Will and Conk. You know, just the way they see the game, and just like whether it's helping me with like protections or chips or this and that. You know, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm always trying to learn and just absorb information as best I can.
So you first connected with Pat like last training camp when we first started working on offense.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah.